For over 2 years now, we have the honor to welcome you for our live and interactive session from our major trade shows, which is in Nuremberg in November, which is in Hannover in April, and here we are on the Hannover Messe in April 2024 with live and interactive. And live and interactive means you have today, tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday every morning 25 minutes technology update, solution providing information and other updates from Beckhoff Automation directly to your desk wherever you're listening us. And for Felix and myself, it's a big pleasure to welcome you again.
Hello from my side as well. Or did you want to say something?
No, I didn't want to say anything. You know me.
Hello from my side as well. If you are getting the feeling or the notion that at some point we are discussing a solution for a problem which you might not have, or you have other issues which you would like to discuss with us, then we kindly invite you to reach out. Please tell us what's on your mind, what questions you have in your mind through the chat, or make an appointment with meet@beckhoff.com, or you come by and visit us here in Hall 9 at booth F06 at the Hannover Fair, where we have all our experts, more than 200 colleagues today gathered.
Yeah, perfect idea for those listening from New Zealand, Australia, India, China, America. Just come by to Hannover.
We have 5 days, so you can make it. Okay. It's possible. Yeah, so it's just how much you want it.
Okay. Well, wherever you are, you can just still listen if you want to, okay?
Because we're doing this 4 days in a row, right? And if there are some things which we don't touch, and if there are some solutions, some problems which have not been discussed in depth enough, then we have one very special colleague who has been with Beckhoff at every Hannover trade show since 1990, which is Hans Beckhoff, where you are heading now to, right?
Yes, not far away, because we grabbed him in the morning already to be close by. So good morning, Hans. Good to see you
Good morning,
again after a German session. Now, the Hannover Messe just started.
Yeah.
So we have 5 days in total now with technology discussions, everything.
Correct.
But it's all about discussion, meeting customers, talk to customers.
Yeah.
And before we talk about technology, I would like to talk with you about sales strategy.
Yeah, okay.
Because we have a specific strategy to make our business globally, because we do direct sales versus indirect sales.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you do this since day one. So why have you decided that our sales force makes a direct sale, us to the customer and back?
Yeah, good question. So you see, 44 years ago, when I started the company in the garage, it was really a garage, I started as a system integrator. So I developed solutions for high-end machines already in these days. And this always meant that I had to have a good relationship, and I liked this good relationship with our customers, because I had to understand their application and had to find good solutions for it. And I think this is the way a technology company should work together with the customers. So there has to be a close relationship, so that the best concepts can be found and also problems can be solved from time to time. In a good project, there are always some problems. And then you have to rely on each other. The customer has to rely on the automation supplier, and also the other way around. We have to listen carefully to our customers to get the newest ideas and directions where technology is developing. So this was in the beginning because I was a system integrator, and when we started to become a system and component company, PC control technology as a base, I/O and motion and all the other things as add-ons, then it was clear to me that we are continuing this way, that we want to have the direct contact to our customers. And this has been true for my German experience, but it also has been true on an international base.
Yeah, but are these same requirements? So is our Chinese, American, Indian, French customer asking the same questions and prefer the direct support?
Yeah, it's a wonderful experience. Automation technology is a worldwide culture.
Yeah.
So if you speak to a Japanese or a Chinese automation engineer, you as a Westphalian or German automation engineer, you very, very fast start to understand each other. So it's really something which is a worldwide culture even. You can see it in this way. So if in these days the world is becoming a little bit more unfriendly for the one or other reason, but automation technology, I think the automation community is really a worldwide community which talks the same language and can understand quite easily.
Yeah, good point. I mean, you just mentioned your garage,
Yeah.
you know, at your house, at home. You started the garage, but then you started also to systematically grow our sales. So let's have an insight. I think the first external office was 1993.
Yep, that's true. It was
that
in
was all at this
Balingen.
time.
It was one in Balingen and one in Hannover,
Yeah,
so here
yeah.
where we are today. And so because I had I had the luck to meet two gentlemen who were experienced sales engineers and who helped me to build our sales system. And we divided the world in two halves. So one half was starting by the south of Germany to the southern world, and the other one was the northern world. And so these two gentlemen were responsible for these halves of the world. And since then, we always organized our sales channel by cell division, to call it in this way. And today, I think we have about 200 offices spread around in the world. And in the developed countries, so all countries are developed, but the industrial automation countries. So we try to let's see Germany as an example. There every 100 or 200 kilometers you will find a Beckhoff office, and in countries which are bigger like the United States or China, maybe it takes 250 to 500 kilometers, but then there will be a Beckhoff engineer available. He will be local, he will talk the local language, he knows the local football club, he knows the local jokes, and he is a high-end technology specialist.
Yeah, and this brought us up today that we have, if I consider this correctly, 1,900 people more or less, which are directly working with and for our customers.
Yeah, you have to see we are about 5,600 employees at all and 1,900, so more than a third are working in the one or other way directly with customers. And this is part of our offering to our customers on a worldwide base. So it's not only about hardware and software, it's also about support. And in the end, as we said, it's about trust, because the customer, the machine builder, is laying his future into our hands as a control supplier. So we really have to function, we really have to deliver quality, we really have to deliver innovations, advantages, and therefore there has to be a very close relationship between us and our customers.
I think trust is a good word, because I totally understand that the customer maybe make his own automation, and then he asks us to overtake basically the automation tasks and the hardware. So you need to trust us, but also our local people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a very important part, because the local engineers, not everything can be done from our headquarters here in Germany. So the local engineers, they have to be together with the customers. They have to develop the architecture of the solution, and they also have to be capable to go deep into the deep technology solution. So this is very important. I think we would not sell anything if not the sales would be there. And by the way, so I always invested in technology development. Beckhoff is known for worldwide leading technology. But I always try to invest the same amount of money into developing the sales channel. Because for sure we have to sell our products, but we have to support our customers.
Yeah, that means our toolbox is full of products, is full of salespeople, and both together are a reason for the success. But I noticed that besides the sales, in the toolbox is also support, service, and other function features. So I think this is an extra valid point.
For sure. Most of our sales engineers are already good automation engineers by their background. So this is the typical Beckhoff sales engineer. So he knows already a lot. But if it's going into details, really how to tweak the bits and bytes and to program in the end, then this is something which cannot be handled by a sales engineer anymore, to educate and to help the customer. And therefore we have support and application engineers, or at least for each sales engineer is at least at minimum one application or support engineer, which he can use to help our customers. And therefore it means 1, 2, 3 engineers on a local base, maybe in the north of Italy, are responsible for one customer.
Now at this trade show we put also other things into the toolbox. So maybe we'll have a little sneak preview. What are your technology highlights for the next couple of days?
Well, it's, we have here these different parts of Beckhoff. So Beckhoff the IPC company, Beckhoff the IO company, Beckhoff the motion company, Beckhoff the software automation company. And in each of these business units, we have exciting new products. Your product range, so the PC, you have the C6040, which has now up to 28 cores already, which I think is fantastic and which shows that Beckhoff, we developed the many core control technology already 10 years ago, has foreseen the future, how it will develop, which is not this difficult, but we did it and other ones did it not in this way. So this is one of the highlights over there. Then with motion, we have the water-cooled motors, which is something new and which enhances our range of performances. We have the new tile in the planar motor technology.
Which can endless rotate.
Which can endless rotate and which is more precise and which has a bigger size. So a lot of advantages with this new tile. We have the MX system where we are standing over here. And which I think has a very big future because it's really revolutionizing the way cabinets are built and automation is done. I see a lot of parallel developments compared to our introduction of the bus terminal in 1995. This was also a revolution. Nobody had a bus terminal before. Afterwards, it became a standard for almost any control supplier. The same will happen here. So I do not like to invite the other control suppliers, but I'm sure that this is the way to go in future, and the cabinet will be only used for special solutions anymore.
I think a real game changer.
And one point which I will not forget is Linux. So Beckhoff is now also providing solutions, TwinCAT solutions based on Linux, which is a big step in our philosophy. So we try to open the world for TwinCAT and Linux together.
Yeah, more flexibility on the customer side. Well, perfect. Some insights, some sales strategies, many thanks. Good luck with the next days. I'm sure we see us around.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about technology, I think we will start with one technology highlight right away. And this is presented by my dear colleague Felix. He's right over there. So what is the greatest, latest in the PC department?
Before we jump into that big pool, I would like to say hello to China, especially to Shanghai and Shenzhen. Thanks for tuning in. And I would also like to say hi to Vietnam. Actually, we are producing this week for the first time a Chinese show, which you can watch on Friday with our Chinese experts. But now let's go back to technology. Hans just mentioned the 28 cores in recent IPC architectures. And this is a very good message because we are doing many core control, but some of our customers, they really like single core performance. And for quite some time, the single core clock rate has not increased very significantly. For private matters, you would simply overclock it, which we strictly forbid. Bela, now we have TwinCAT Core Boost. What's that?
Yeah, that's basically the same idea, but fully integrated into TwinCAT.
Okay.
So the user now has the possibility to increase the clock frequency for each core individually. So a very powerful tool. If you imagine you have only one certain part of your application which is very power hungry, it could be the motion application, it could be a vision application, could also be the machine learning model which is executed on one core. Then you can overclock this specific core to increase the computing performance. And then you can easily execute this bit of your application on this core. And it's fully integrated into TwinCAT. And the most important thing is that we can still guarantee the real-time capability because the overclocking is done permanently.
Okay. That's a very useful feature because I really get that extra amount of power whenever I required it. But why is it possible just now, Fabio?
Yeah. Well, so far, as Bela already mentioned, we were limited to the base frequency.
Yeah.
And the base frequency was so far the only frequency we could guarantee to be permanently available. This is crucial for the real-time capabilities of TwinCAT, the deterministic behavior. And now with new features we got from our CPU manufacturers, we are able to access the frequencies just out of our application and manipulate them. So initially, those CPU manufacturers used this to save power, but we do the opposite now. We want to use more power, get more power out of the device. And in this case, it comes just at the perfect point of time, because at the moment we got the development that we get more and more cores. So instead of 4 cores, we have minimum 8 cores.
Yeah.
But we also see that the frequency is decreasing, the base frequency. from 3 to 6, for example, to 2.6 gigahertz. And now for this example, 2.0 gigahertz on 8 cores, we can now accelerate this up to 4.2 gigahertz, so massive leap.
I can imagine that you have to do quite some housekeeping around this, because if you overclock something, if you run faster, it gets hotter, for example. Bela, how do we manage this on the software side?
Yeah, so it's really fully integrated into TwinCAT. So the configuration part is integrated. You can easily decide which core should be overclocked. And on the other hand side, diagnosis possibilities are available, so on the runtime side. So you can see whether the power consumption or how much the power consumption is, the temperature of each core is available, so you can kind of monitor it, and that's what TwinCAT basically is also doing in the background. So if a certain limit is actually reached, so maybe it is the overall power consumption which reaches a limit, then TwinCAT automatically reacts and reduces the frequency for the non-real-time cores.
Okay.
So we guarantee that the whole system still works and continues to be real-time capable, for example.
Okay, so, but you can also do this with several cores at the same time, right?
At the same
Not
time,
just
right.
limited to one core.
Yeah.
So you can really boost your power. And boosting your power with a software feature is not really good for hardware sales, Fabio, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's the story of PC-based control, right?
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah, so we use, or thankfully we have the software, we have TwinCAT, and we can now have more or make more out of our industrial PCs. And as I mentioned, this is PC-based control, so we got one central PC for more and more tasks. We got MC3 that we are showing here on the booth, machine learning and so on. And this is why we need more performance.
Yeah.
And on the other side, for those customers who are just growing with us and getting more performance with each PC, they can also decide to now take a smaller CPU, save hardware costs, save maybe costs for the operating system, and as well as license costs, of course.
So we are reducing the costs if required, or we increase the performance of the PC.
Right. Getting
Let's
more
have a
efficient.
look at this very impressive overview. At what level of IPCs are we starting exactly, Fabio?
So we want to integrate this on as many PCs as possible.
Yeah.
Right now we are starting with Intel Core i CPUs 11th and 13th generation.
Okay.
And this means we start already with passively cooled
So that's
C6025.
Yeah.
And then we get up to the big PCs with 13th generation Core i CPUs.
Okay. So it's completely available, and you also told me that it will also be available for form factors of IPCs, which we have for 20 years?
20 years now.
2004? Okay.
Exactly, so we got the new PCs, but also the existing PCs, also the big PCs that we manufactured in the 90s already with ATX motherboard. Also, they will be equipped with 11th generation CPUs, and by that get also TwinCAT Core Boost.
Okay, so long-term availability, reliability.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bela. Thank you, Fabi, for sharing
Welcome.
this with us.
You're welcome.
TwinCAT Core Boost might be your way to increase the performance of the application or to save some money. But if you say, I am in a completely other industry where I don't care about fast cycle times, I'm actually taking care of big processes, then we have a very interesting next interview partner with Roland for you.
Yeah, and as Hans earlier talked about the requirements of sales in Germany and around the globe, I would like to talk now about the challenge in different branches. Besides our typical automation manufacturing branches, we have also the process industry. And Sebastian, you're here as an expert in our team to talk about requirements and application in process industry. Now, what are the differences between the process industry, which is oil, gas, and so on, and the typical machine building companies?
So the main difference is that we work with gases and liquids. So we do not have any countable goods like tires or cars. We work with batches and continuous processes. So the automation is also a bit different. We do not focus on cycle times or speed, but on high plant availability through, for example, redundancy.
Okay, but nevertheless, there are specific requirements, and that's why we have here a portfolio of special blue terminals, which have an incredibly safe input and output options. But this is not all we need to realize application in the process industry, don't we?
That's right. Actually, the main focus right now is on software. So roughly only 20% of our process applications right now are based on the blue terminals. The most cases, our gray terminals like these, are fully enough because of their certifications. And currently, like I said, we are more focusing on the software part, for example, like HMIs or libraries like that. And that's why we also grown up our team for that.
Okay. I mean, if most applications run with our standard terminals, I think this is perfect information for the industry because we have over 1,000 different ones.
That's right.
But there were still some terminals missing. So I noticed you have a new gray terminal. It looks boring from the outside, but it's cool from the inside. So what is the secret?
So it looks like our standard portfolio. It's based on our portfolio. It's based on our EL3182, so our analog input with the hard functionality. And what we did here is we erased the analog part. So we built up a communication interface just for the hard protocol. And the cool fact about this is that you can integrate it into existing plants and add that up to the 4 to 20 milliamp signal without interfering with it. So we can read out more additional information out of the field device via the hard protocol here.
So our customers using sensors with hard interface can now easily adapt this into the automation field.
Exactly, yeah.
And this saves money, increased performance. What is the key challenge? Or
so the idea is based on the customer requirements, of course, that you add that up to the existing system without touching it, like I said, or without interfering with it, with the signal, and then gain more information out of the field. And that's important because the industry is now in a critical period because lower demand and rising energy prices, for example. And that's why they focus on new topics like, for example, reducing the maintenance effort. And that's why they need more information out of the field to do that. And that's what they can do with our terminal, read out more information, so-called vitality data out of the sensors, and like put that into an OPCOA server, for example, with our IPCs, send that into a cloud or some predictive maintenance tools, and then reduce the personal effort, reduce the maintenance effort, and at the end, save costs.
wow. So with just one extra terminal access the whole portfolio,
Yep.
can be used for retrofit, can be used for new installation. Sebastian, good news for the industry. Nevertheless, it sounds complicated. We have software, we have hardware, blue, gray, so a complex system, like many things. But I know that Felix, just on the other side, he will talk about simplicity now versus complexity. Here we go, Felix.
Yeah, and first and foremost, it is simplicity for you. So we would like to make complex things very easy to do for you. And that's why we have developed the TwinCAT Chat functionality. How can TwinCAT Chat help us to commission machines even faster, Jannis?
Yeah, we have now a tool which uses generative AIs, so-called large language model, to assist the users. So it's possible to generate code, for example. That's something we showed for the first time. And then add I/O configurations, for example. And on this fair, we also show how to use it in our measurement tool to create scopes, for example, or analyze data.
Okay, so it's actually a very, very helpful tool to make the complex processes which you have to go through PLC programming configuration a little bit easier. But now we have this big, nice XTS demo here behind us, and TwinCAT Chat is standing right on there. That's an already running demo. Why is this important? It's already commissioned.
Yeah. So as already said, we start with TwinCAT Chat in the engineering. What we think about, it would be nice for our customer. It's also use it on the machine. So now we have TwinCAT Chat for runtimes, and so we have an extension for our HMI, where you can chat with your machine to show data. To order pieces here on this demo, for example, and it's a very nice way to interact it with the machine.
Okay, so in future, I can really act naturally in front of a machine and just ask the machine, hey machine, how warm are you today? And then the machine will tell me 25 degrees.
Exactly.
Wonderful, that's very comfortable. Thank you, Jannis. I'm very excited to everything what will happen with TwinCAT Chat in the future. But, as you know, AI and machine learning are not only part of our user interface of the commissioning of TwinCAT systems, it's also deep down in our control technology with Xplanar, for example. Fabian, how can you use machine learning tools just beyond the commissioning and also beyond the human-machine interaction?
Yeah, well, so we enable our customers to really run AI models in real time in their controls. And this enables us to, for instance, make complex decisions in a machine based on AI models, like for quality inspection. So decide if a product is good, is it bad, is it quality class A, B, C, especially in natural goods, for instance. And so for that, we have TwinCAT machine learning. It is a TwinCAT function that a PLC programmer can simply load and execute AI models in the PLC. And the key fact or the interesting point from AI is that you can learn from samples. So you just have to present your AI model a set of samples. The model learns from those samples, so you don't have to explicitly code it into an algorithm. So it's like we learn. We learn also quite often from examples.
I think this is for us it's natural and we are using these tools for some time, but it's a groundbreaking new approach. So you don't have to write an algorithm, you can teach the system. As always with new technologies, the question might be, how can I use it? How can I make this happen? Because I can imagine that everybody could have a use case for it. But we have our customers, which are typically machine builders or process industry engineers, and they are busy with so many different things. They have to take care of hard integration in the process industry. They have to work with vision. How can we help them to use the benefits of AI without doing 5 years of studies in the field?
Yeah, so well, for the automation engineers out there and the process experts, we have great news, because on this show we show the first time our TwinCAT machine learning creator, which is especially a tool created for automation engineers, for non-AI experts. It's a platform where you upload your data samples, and then you can just simply click train, and we train in the background an AI model that learns from the data input. Optionally, a user can interact with the platform, like we can configure this model should in the end run on this or that Beckhoff platform and with this and that TwinCAT function. And then the customer can set a latency limit. For the process might have a hard limit that the model needs to be executed within 50 milliseconds. So this is a side constraint that we can also feed in. But there is nothing more to know from AI perspective for the user of this training tool.
So this very, very powerful, mighty tool is made available with TwinCAT Machine Learning Creator. Fabian, thank you very much. I would like to highlight one more thing, because hardware and software are always together for us. And you have a PC here, and this is, if I'm correct, an C6043 with an NVIDIA GPU, right?
Exactly.
So it's perfect hardware for the execution of ML-based models. Thank you, Fabian, again. If you have any questions or think about use cases for machine learning tools in your machine, that's your expert. And now we are almost at the end of our Beckhoff Live and Interactive show for today. You see that the booth is crowded. Our Norwegian customer group is standing here. Norway is the partner country of this year's Hannover trade show. And we are very excited to have you again here live on our booth, or tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday in the live stream. So we look really much forward, because we have prepared an exciting agenda. Hans mentioned Linux, big topic for tomorrow. Hans mentioned the MX system. We will have a trilogy about this system, so it's not Frodo and Samwise Gamgee carrying the ring, but it's really the development, the ideas behind the first MX-based machine, which we would like to show to you. Other than that, many topics from the I/O part of the company, and also from the motion part of the company. We will have a world premiere in the Explanat area, where I am pretty excited about. So we look very much forward to see you again, to have you again in the live stream. And you can see quite some nice people here, and we would like to welcome you again. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.